That's the one thing. One thing I like about the Cozy Empire is like it works for everyone's schedule. Like a lot of the times I don't see anybody because I'm playing it like in the middle of the night. Then again, it's breakfast time for Mohammed. Sergeant Wiki, who's in the Netherlands, might be up this early if his daughter woke him up. The Australian viewers are enjoying like a nice... time is it in Australia? Maybe like 10 a.m. Might have some Australians up. Yeah, this is a fun game. The community's getting huge. Like, with those additions to the Cozy Empire, we're up to 45. Gonna hit 50 soon. I still haven't done like an advertisement for like a recruitment video. Part of me worries that like once I drop it, like there's gonna be a rush of people up here. No, you don't? You used to play Destiny? Ah, Destiny was a great game. I couldn't get into Destiny 2 though. Honestly, it got a little too directionless for me. But like Destiny was kind of like the FPS MMO I've always wanted, you know? Like I want to create a character, have a class, find sweet loot, Diablo style. Like, that just makes me happy. Alright, let's make the super good leather. Do I need the hide working salt for that? I think I do. Your very opinion on how they chose to change the story of Destiny? I haven't even been keeping up on the story. When like I tried playing Destiny 2, it felt like there was no story. They were just like, you're in it now. I'm like, okay. I tried to play the first Descendant, which I thought was gonna be like a semi-decent, like, Destiny-like game. But like, the monetization schemes there just like felt too bad. I was gonna stream it, then I was just like, you know what? I don't trust this developer enough. D2 retcon some things you heard? All I know is that Peter Dinklage was the original voice of your little companion cube. I forget what it was called. And then they had to get rid of him. I think they added like the first expansion, like, we need somebody cheap. And I miss Peter Dinklage cube. First Descendant was more like Warframe to you? That makes sense. Warframe, however, I've been hearing like lots of good things about, which surprises me. Like, I played it when it came out and I was like, it's not for me. And then like 100 years later, I hear people just saying like, yeah, I was just playing Warframe, it's great, you should join. With all the crafting and stuff, I don't even remember that. I didn't play too much of the first Descendant. Like, I started seeing like the weird microtransaction-y like paywall things. Like, if I ran into that kind of monetization in this game, I would have been gone. For some reason, they can tell me like I need to like find 800 rough leather in this game, and I'm like, all right, sure. Makes sense. But if they like offered to let you buy the rough leather with real cash, Like, at that point, I'd be like, I hate this game and I never want to play it. Could be like $1 for 800 leather. And I'd still be like, nope, I'm out. And it's kind of weird for me. Like, somehow, the fact that you can't buy leather just, like, makes me willing to grind for it. Warframe is enjoyable, but it is very repetitive gameplay loop. Personally think it gets very boring very quickly. The First Descendant is the same way. Yeah, I'd agree with both of those. Really, I just want Diablo with guns. Specifically, I want Diablo 2 with guns. Diablo 3 was such a disappointment to me that I skipped Diablo 4 entirely. One of the things, I've heard this called different things, but like, I'm a Johnny character, a Johnny build kind of guy. Which I think is from like an old Magic the Gathering like types of players. Like a Johnny build, a Johnny deck is just like some weird thing that could theoretically work, and they build like your deck around it. Like, you're not there to win, you're there to make like really cool stuff happen. And so, like, I'd play a sorcerer and try to make him a melee, or I'd play a barbarian and try to make him a caster. And I'd do stuff like that, and I'd have a great time. And that was super doable in Diablo 2. But in Diablo 3, they're just like, here you go, here's the weapon of being a sorceress. It'll go great with your armor of being a sorceress. I'm like, let me find something weird once in a while. Path of Exiles lets you do that, and it's great. Oh yeah, I'm super excited to play Path of Exiles too. So, like, I bought it because I got hyped for it with everybody else. And I'm just kind of sitting on it until they, like, completely release the story. I need to check up on that, see where they are, but I don't think they've released like all the acts yet. Because I just want to do like one quick story playthrough and then be done. And like, I gotta say, I hate the way people play games like that. Like, if that's what you want to do, you like Google a build and you're like, that's what you should do. And like, you just stick to your build. You put your stats where you're told to put your stats. You look for certain gear. And like, people have fun doing that, and that's fine. But for me, I just like to discover my own weird way to play the game. I'll drop my stats wherever I feel like. Usually I'll look at the skill tree and be like, I want to be a guy who hits things with a stick. Where are all the stick skills? Okay. And then like, I piece together my own build. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with the way they're enjoying the game. It's just, like, I would hate to play it like that. Elden Ring's kind of like the same way. The amount of times people like hopped into like my playthrough of Elden Ring and they were like, you're doing it wrong. These are the best weapons for this particular fight. These are the best skills. Why do you even have that? And I'm like, man, have you guys forgotten how to have fun? Like, yeah, those things would make the fight easier. But I'm not gonna like respec every time I walk into a boss room. That doesn't sound fun. Sounds micromanaging and terrible. Oh, you haven't stuck with this way longer than you thought? Wait, you mean I have stuck with this way longer than you thought? To be honest, I stuck with this longer than I thought, too. What are we at? We're at 260 hours of BitCraft Online. And there's just always more stuff I can do. My friends and community here. I think, for example, I need tier 1 tannin. Which means I will steal most of these. And we'll make some buckets. It's a lot of buckets. You want a game that gives you the choice to make a build around dual shields you can use offensively. So Elden Ring was that. There are people who do like the dual great shield build. I think it would be very, very hard. But like, you can do that. If a game makes you fight a certain way to progress, it's bad game design. Yeah. I don't know. A lot of games just... A lot of games these days are extremely difficult. Like V Rising. Like, I feel like the end game didn't have to be as hard as it was. And I felt like I had to play with, like, my best skills, abilities, weapons in order to like stand a chance. And that was kind of rough. But for Elden Ring, for the most part, most of the way through the game, fighting every single person except for the end boss of the DLC, like everything was viable. And that made me so happy. Baldur's Gate 3 is a great example. Like, you can go through that entire game with any party you want. And I feel like it's entirely viable. Good games. Biggest problem with Elden Ring and Dark Souls in general is it's a Metroidvania that requires you to specialize a character. And that feels like it's contradictory. You need to make a build with access to enough tools, but still be specialized. That's true. You can specialize in so many different things. It would be very, very difficult to be just like an all-around generic man guy. Hang on, I need a lot of bark. Do I have a secret stash of bark? Or don't? Liza P is nice. I am thrilled to hear you say that, because I kind of want to play Liza P. Like, I don't want to play Liza P if I don't intend to play it all the way through. Selling bark. Simple bark. Doesn't help me. Alright, we dropped the buckets in here. I think we need some tier 1 wood. Here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna search resources. Oak, not oak. Young oak. Beach. There's a beach. Right on the beach. Pick an attack stat, pick a magic stat. Want neither? Prepare to pick up a bow. You need ranged or chug mana. But you can do that too. Ooh, there's my beach. Please climb? Come on, let me at my beach. No! What are you doing? Just accidentally climbing for half an hour. I think Zelda Breath of the Wild did outside the box thinking perfectly. I agree with that. Honestly, like, as a programmer, Breath of the Wild kind of blows my mind. Like, the amount of just flexibility in all things in that game is crazy to me. Like, Nintendo does that. Like, the new Donkey Kong game, Donkey Kong Bonanza. Like, the amount of flexibility you have in that blows my mind. Like, I don't know when Nintendo just kind of like decided to be that. Where they just make games that seem very impossible to make, like, logistically. But that one definitely blew my mind. That's how you beat Elden Ring your first time you used nothing but a bow? What? Was it the most efficient way to play? No, but it sure was fun. That's crazy. They don't always put that much effort in sadly. I'm trying to think of like a Nintendo specific game, like developed by, not just published by Nintendo, that really, really sucked. I'm sure there are some. I feel like nobody's been talking really positively about Metroid. Maybe the last 5 of those were terrible. Mario Kart World. Okay, never mind. There's a very recent example. That one, it's weird. Like, I don't feel like Mario Kart changed at all from like, or all that much. Like, they just let you have more players, and then they let you like grind on walls and stuff. Like, they went very pro skater with it. And I don't know if that's been much of a hit. But like, when you have so many players, like the person in first place is going to get obliterated by blue shells. Unless you like cut way back on the amount blue shells spawn, but like the blue shells are half the fun. There's got to be at least one in every race. But like, the amount of tricks and shortcuts also like just evaporate the fun. Like, it feels like there's almost too much skill. Like, do the real crazy things, but it also feels like you do some crazy things without much skill. Pokemon is the same, very little change between games, poor performance. I'll be real, I haven't played a new Pokemon game since Diamond and Pearl. My son's playing Pokemon Violet and he loves that. And it looked decent, but I hear it had a terrible launch. I don't know how many logs I'm getting. I don't need that many. Oh, would you look at that? I've got that many. I just want the bark. 47 bark. Now I think if I split that into firewood, it also generates bark. And I think that's what I want to do. I know I could make wood specifically into bark. But with the amount of firewood everything needs all the time, it just feels like kind of a waste. I forgot how wood works. Here we go. Oh, you don't make bark. Yeah, let's go bark crazy. We'll go bark mad. 108 bark? Is that really all I get? I mean, we are short in bark. Alright. Some very strange conversations going on over there. Some of them seem to be censored. Go angle the camera this way. The Switch one can handle the memory leak from the Pokemon games. That's true. I tried to angle the camera away. I saw some conversation about birthing. The game was just like, no, I know you're looking away, but we're going to drop that text right in the middle of your screen anyway. So are we going to talk about the miracle of childbirth? Whoop. I don't know, I've experienced the miracle of childbirth. Not like personally, but I was a first-hand witness. Pretty neat. Would recommend. There's no way to angle this camera to save me from their private conversation. Let's see. That's Golden making 2 dog Pokemon that are easy pickings in the wild. Then a ghost dog, 10 out of 10. They don't do anything with the mechanics. That's true. Honestly, I don't like any of the things they are doing with the mechanics. It always kind of worries me, like, when a new game feels like they absolutely have to do something entirely new. Because that's something that bothers me with Monster Hunter. Like, I feel like they had the gameplay perfect in Monster Hunter World. And then Monster Hunter Rise comes in, they're like, here's your new gimmick. And then Monster Hunter Wilds comes out and they're like, here's a new gimmick. Oh, I need to fill the buckets with water. And like, it didn't need those gimmicks. It was fun. When Legends Arceus to be better than it was. Yeah, that's the sentiment I heard from it too. They did not put in their full effort on that one. And then Pal World comes along and tries something new. I don't even think Pal World was that great of a game, but it was just nice to see Pokemon like the first epidural was used by a German surgeon. What is going on here? It was for spinal surgery. That makes sense. You don't mind Wilds? Because you played every Monster Hunter since the original on PlayStation 2 and it didn't have enough content at launch. That's true. I haven't played enough Monster Hunters. Got like Monster Hunter Try? Whatever the Wii one was, and it had like mandatory Wii remote waggle. And yeah, that was enough to get me not to play past the tutorial. The wire bug was fun in Rise. I could live without it. Like, it wasn't bad. It let me try weapons that I didn't like in Monster Hunter World. Like, I really liked playing with a greatsword in Monster Hunter Rise. Because using the wire bug to, like, get me out of danger was super useful. Thing is, Pokemon always used to have gimmicks. Gen 3 was weather. Originally, Scarlet Violet gimmick was supposed to be expanding on concepts like spikes, trick room, and weather. You know, artificially changing the environment, and they said, no, not cool. Flashy, sellable, terrestrialization. Those were words. Yeah, like, it was like G-Max and Z giant monsters, and I don't know, there's some Pokemon weird bloat stuff they did to make it interesting. And yeah, I didn't much care for it. Like, it wasn't the worst thing in the world. But like, I just don't want to learn anything about it. I feel like they made changes like no one really asked for. Alright. Now we'll get the tannin. And that is still not nearly as much tannin as we need. Interesting. They could have stopped at Mega Evolution. Yeah, I would have been happy if they stopped before Mega Evolution. As a really, really old man, I thought they nailed it on the first one. And if they just kept making games exactly the same as the first one, but with upgraded graphics and new Pokemon, like, that would be all I needed. Howdy. Heard some pregnancy talk. Somebody having a baby? A personal experience. First 7 months of pregnancy, fine. Last 2, not fine. Babies, pretty rad. I give the whole experience 8 out of 10. Having babies was pretty fun. I've got real fond memories of just watching Netflix with my son at 4 a.m. bottle feeding. It was so nice. My kids are so heavy now. I tried carrying my daughter on my shoulders the other day and it hurt my back so much. She's getting so big. I don't think I can do it anymore. Oh, Lamau Fair. And no, you were just using the a point about how men use the term. What term? Labor? Can't really be called labor if you're laying down the whole time. I'm joking, of course. Don't ever make that joke. They will stab you. As a means to emasculate or call something weak when the woman's body undergoes more trauma during birthing and then heals and can do it all over again. But it hits the male when you flick them. They're dying on the ground crying. It's true. And gotta work on that testicular fortitude. Ironically, actually debating about having another kid, but worried how many you can care for effectively. Yeah. Hang on. One of those things that makes you curious how it becomes a thing. 100%. Alright. Let's see Revan's new house. It's just boxes. As far as the eye can see. Love it. The cargo box is massive. Forget how much a cargo box can hold. That's city chat? There's a city chat? Areas might be nice. We're gonna need a bunch of citric berries soon enough. Slash claim. I believe it. Let's see. So debating having another kid, worried about how many you can care for effectively. I think I can effectively care for 2. Like, after 2, you go from, like, man-to-man coverage to zone coverage. And then it's just kind of like choosing which one you can neglect safely. So if my wife would get on board with, like, the sister wives, like, maybe we could get something worked out here, but, like, it's just not happening with the numbers we got. I may have made enough tannin. I didn't expect this much tannin. How much tannin I got? 465. That's still not enough? All right, here. We'll drop our extra water in there. Someone will use it.